What began as a lighthearted segment on Today with Jenna and Friends quickly spiraled into one of the most unexpected, intense moments in morning television history. Blake Shelton, the charismatic country singer and television personality known for his playful jabs and southern charm, appeared on the show to promote his latest album and tour. Jenna Bush Hager, co-host and daughter of former President George W. Bush, had always maintained a warm, friendly rapport with her guests, but something was different this time. From the moment Blake sat down, subtle tensions simmered beneath their banter. The two had clashed mildly in the past over political jabs and personal jests, but this time the undercurrents came roaring to the surface. Jenna's introductory remarks included a joke about Blake's recent appearance at a Nashville event that drew criticism. "Still recovering from that barroom karaoke, huh?" she quipped, raising an eyebrow. Blake, visibly annoyed, forced a chuckle, but quickly replied, "Better than recovering from another Bush family fundraiser, I'd say." Asterisk. The studio fell into an awkward silence. Hoda Kotb, sitting off to the side, gave a nervous laugh, trying to steer the conversation back toward music, but it was too late. Jenna, caught off guard, tried to brush it off, but the energy had shifted. Moments later, during a cooking demo segment, the tension erupted when Blake mocked one of Jenna's Texas family recipes live on air, calling it bland, like a Bush campaign speech. Jenna, visibly flustered, shot back with an uncharacteristically sharp retort, "At least I don't rely on a fake cowboy persona to stay relevant." The audience gasped. Producers quickly cut to commercial. When the show returned, Blake's seat was empty, and Jenna was reading the next segment's cue card with a forced smile. It was confirmed by NBC reps just hours later. Blake Shelton had been asked to leave the studio after what sources described as an unresolvable off-camera argument. Asterisk Backstage sources say that once the camera stopped rolling, the situation escalated even further. Blake, still seething from Jenna's fake cowboy jab, allegedly confronted her in the hallway outside the studio, accusing her of being sanctimonious and using the show to push her family's legacy rather than actually connecting with guests. Jenna, refusing to back down, reportedly fired back by saying Blake never grew out of being the class clown and accused him of always turning interviews into a mockery. Producers stepped in to separate the two before things turned more heated, and NBC executives quickly made the decision to quietly escort Blake from the building. Staff were reportedly stunned. Many had assumed the tension was just part of the segment's awkward humor. But behind the scenes, tempers had genuinely boiled over. Within hours, the incident was trending across social media, with fans on both sides weighing in. While some defended Blake's raw honesty and sense of humor, others praised Jenna for standing her ground and not letting a guest bully his way through the show. Asterisk, the fallout continued in the following days. Blake Shelton canceled his next scheduled TV appearance, citing scheduling conflicts, though insiders claimed it was a strategic move to lay low. Jenna addressed the incident vaguely during the next morning's broadcast, saying, "Sometimes conversations get tough, but we stand by respect always." She didn't mention Blake by name, but the message was clear. Hoda Kotb, in an attempt to ease the tension, made a gentle joke about spicy mornings and moved the show along. But fans noticed the awkward energy lingering on set. Meanwhile, representatives from Blake's team released a short statement, calling the situation unfortunate and noting that not all jokes land. Some tabloids even suggested that Blake may be banned from future appearances on NBC talk shows, though nothing official was confirmed. Despite the controversy, both Jenna and Blake appeared to weather the storm publicly. Still, it was undeniable. What was meant to be a light-hearted morning show visit became one of the most talked about media dust-ups of the year, and a powerful reminder that not even seasoned TV personalities are immune to a good old-fashioned showdown. Asterisk in the aftermath. Insiders began to leak additional details that shed light on long-standing friction between Blake Shelton and the Today team. According to one source close to the production, Blake had previously expressed hesitation about doing the show, having heard through industry circles that Jenna Bush Hager could be condescending. During interviews with country music stars, while he ultimately agreed, reportedly out of respect for NBC's long-standing relationship with The Voice, the decision proved regrettable. What was meant to be a warm conversation quickly unraveled into a televised standoff. And viewers weren't the only ones taken aback. Behind the scenes, crew members described the energy on set as tense and uncomfortable. Several staffers overheard whispering, "This is going south fast," during commercial breaks. One production assistant even confessed it was the first time they'd seen a guest forcibly removed mid-show in years, not because of a scandal or crisis, but simply because of an argument that spiraled completely out of control. What's more, the incident prompted a deeper conversation among NBC executives about the tone and boundaries of friendly banter on live TV. A memo was reportedly circulated to producers of Today with Jenna and Friends, urging them to maintain a more balanced and respectful tone during guest segments, especially when dealing with high-profile celebrities known for their candid personalities. While Blake Shelton kept largely silent in the days following, fans flooded social media with support and outrage. Some demanded a public apology from Jenna, accusing her of provoking the singer, while others claimed Blake should have taken the high road instead of escalating the exchange. Jenna, in her next newsletter, touched briefly on the matter, writing, "We're all human. Sometimes conversations get messy, but growth comes from discomfort." As for Blake, he subtly referenced the incident during a performance a week later, joking between songs, "If you ever get kicked off a talk show, make sure the crowd sings louder than the host." The audience erupted in laughter and applause, confirming that, while the moment was divisive, it had certainly not silenced him. Instead, it added another fiery chapter to his already bold and unfiltered legacy. Despite the on-air fallout and media storm, Blake Shelton's team wasted no time spinning the narrative in his favor. His PR representatives arranged a surprise radio call-in the next day, where he laughed off the entire ordeal, saying, "You know me, if you poke the bear's gonna growl." The quote went viral almost instantly, and merchandise bearing the phrase began appearing online by that afternoon. Fans viewed the incident as classic Blake, unfiltered, bold, and unwilling to bite his tongue. Meanwhile, Jenna Bush Hager faced more scrutiny than she likely anticipated. While some longtime Today viewers defended her, citing her usually warm demeanor, others accused her of letting personal bias seep into her interviewing style. One tweet that gained traction read, "Jenna wanted a headline, and she got one, but at the cost of professionalism." For a show known for its lighthearted tone, the situation felt wildly off-brand, forcing the Today team into damage control mode. Behind the scenes, NBC was reportedly furious over the disruption and the negative press. Executives met privately with Jenna to discuss the fallout, and while no official disciplinary action was announced, a noticeable shift in tone followed in the next few episodes. Jenna appeared more reserved, and some noticed she avoided any playful jabs that might even hint at controversy. Meanwhile, Blake was back on stage just days later, performing in Nashville and throwing subtle shade during his banter with the audience. At one point, after thanking the crowd for their energy, he quipped, "You guys are way more fun than a TV studio in New York, I'll tell you that much." The crowd roared with approval. The saga had cemented itself not just as another viral TV moment, but as a telling example of the delicate line between entertainment and conflict, and what happens when two strong personalities refuse to back down. For now, Blake seems to have the last laugh, and Jenna, a lasting reminder of how quickly morning TV can turn into primetime drama. In the days that followed, the ripple effects of the clash stretched beyond the morning television world and into the broader entertainment industry. Talk shows, podcasts, and YouTube commentary channels dissected every second of the interview, replaying the moment where Blake's patience snapped and Jenna's expression stiffened. "It's a masterclass in passive-aggressive tension," one viral clip claimed, garnering millions of views. Even celebrities began weighing in, some offering support, others mocking the situation. Kelly Clarkson, a longtime friend of both, posted a cryptic Instagram story that simply read, "Mornings are rough, y'all be nice." Fans weren't sure if it was meant as a peace offering or a subtle shade. Meanwhile, Jimmy Fallon joked during his monologue, Blake Shelton got kicked off morning TV for being too country. Next week, he'll be banned from brunch altogether. The public was loving the drama, and NBC, while internally scrambling, saw a sharp uptick in viewership for replays and recaps. whether intentional or not. The incident had turned Today with Jenna and Friends into appointment television. Asterisk, however. Insiders revealed that the mood inside 30 Rockefeller Plaza was far from celebratory. Producers were reportedly furious over how out of control the segment had become, and conversations about tightening editorial control were already underway. Jenna, who usually held a reputation for warmth and poise, was said to be shaken by the backlash. In a private moment caught by paparazzi outside the studio, she was overheard telling a colleague, "I didn't mean for it to get that ugly." Meanwhile, Blake had retreated to his Oklahoma ranch, where he posted a picture of himself fishing with the caption, "Back where things make sense." While neither side issued a formal apology, both networks and artists were suddenly very aware of how combustible the combination of honesty and live TV could be. Whether the clash will permanently alter Jenna's approach or Blake's willingness to appear on morning talk shows remains unclear. But what's certain is this: America tuned in expecting smiles and banter and left with fireworks they won't soon forget. Asterisk, in the weeks after the televised fallout, the entertainment world remained fixated on the clash between Blake Shelton and Jenna Bush. Tabloid headlines kept the fire burning, with cover stories like the showdown that shook morning TV and Blake's breaking point. What really happened on set? Sources from inside the Today production team leaked that a closed-door meeting took place to debrief the situation, during which producers debated whether Blake should be banned from future appearances indefinitely, or if a carefully mediated return could be orchestrated. Jenna, meanwhile, reportedly took a brief leave of absence, officially for personal reflection, though those close to the show claimed she needed distance to emotionally reset. Online, the hashtag Team Blake and hashtag Team Jenna became rallying points, with fans digging into both stars' histories to find clues of long-buried resentment. Media analysts noted how the dynamic between musicians and TV hosts had evolved. No longer were these fluffy interviews immune to public scrutiny or celebrity backlash. Asterisk, amidst all the buzz, Blake finally broke his silence during an exclusive interview with a country radio station in Nashville. "Look, I'm human. I was caught off guard, and maybe I didn't handle it with as much grace as I could have. But I stand by what I said," he stated. His tone was calm, but unapologetic. Jenna, in contrast, chose to address the moment subtly. During her return episode, opening the show with a carefully worded statement, "Live TV is unpredictable, and emotions can run high. We're all learning as we go." While she didn't name Blake directly, viewers interpreted the comment as a thinly veiled reference. The network hoped time would dilute the impact, but viewers continued to reference the feud whenever either star appeared in unrelated segments. Whether intentional or not, the moment had become iconic, into pop culture memory as a flashpoint of celebrity tension and the risks of mixing sharp opinions with morning smiles. Asterisk, as public fascination with the feud lingered. Late night, hosts began weaving the incident into their monologues, poking fun at Blake Shelton's dramatic exit and Jenna Bush's unusually fiery demeanor. One particularly viral skit featured a Blake impersonator smashing a coffee mug on a fake morning show set, shouting, "Y'all can keep your granola questions." The parody skits only added fuel to the conversation, turning what began as a tense exchange into a full-blown cultural phenomenon. Blake responded with characteristic humor, posting a tongue-in-cheek Instagram video of himself storming out of a fishing boat while his friend jokingly asked him about his favorite brunch foods. Jenna, however, remained mostly silent online, instead choosing to shift focus to lighter, family-oriented content. Her PR team had advised against fanning the flames, knowing that any hint of defensiveness could reignite backlash. Despite the external noise, the Today Show's ratings spiked temporarily, with viewers tuning in just to see how the team would address or avoid the situation. Asterisk, behind the scenes, NBC executives deliberated over whether to bring Blake back for a reconciliation segment, hoping it might boost ratings even further and help repair the rift. However, Blake reportedly declined the offer, saying he wasn't interested in turning drama into marketing. Instead, he returned to the set of The Voice, where fellow coaches ribbed him relentlessly in good fun. "You walking out again, cowboy?" joked one during rehearsals. Blake laughed, proving he could take the heat, but also subtly reminding everyone that he preferred environments where the digs came with a sense of camaraderie. Jenna, for her part, attempted to rebuild her public image by organizing a special segment featuring military families, which was well received and helped reframe her on-screen persona. Despite their respective efforts to move on, neither could fully escape the shadow of that viral moment. It lingered in the background, an unforgettable collision between country charm and morning show candor that neither could have scripted if they tried. Months after the incident, the infamous clash between Blake Shelton and Jenna Bush Hager remained a point of reference in media circles and online fandoms alike. It even inspired a short-lived podcast episode titled Morning Show Meltdowns, where TV insiders dissected what went wrong and why tensions on live television continue to captivate audiences. Viewers speculated about the possibility of deeper underlying resentments between the twosome, pointing to Blake's distaste for overly curated morning segments, while others suggested Jenna's southern charm clashed with Blake's rowdier Oklahoma roots. Whatever the reason, the memory of their confrontation refused to fade. Clips from the exchange resurfaced regularly on TikTok and Twitter, often remixed with dramatic music or sarcastic captions. What began as a 10-minute appearance had morphed into a cultural snapshot, proof of how quickly the line between entertainment and spectacle could be crossed. Eventually. During a guest appearance on a late-night show, Jenna addressed the incident with a lighthearted but calculated tone. "Blake and I have very different energy," she said, laughing. "He's a little more honky-tonk, and I'm a little more read to children in a library. It didn't mesh that day." The audience roared, appreciative of her candor. While she never issued a formal apology, her comment was seen as an olive branch. Even Blake's team acknowledged it privately as a step forward. Blake, on the other hand, showed no lasting bitterness. In a later interview, when asked about returning to Today, he chuckled and replied, "I'll go back when they replace the questions with whiskey shots." Though both went their separate ways professionally, the memory of their unscripted moment lived on, not as a scandal to be ashamed of, but as a sharp, authentic reminder that live television still has the power to surprise, spark debate, and leave a mark far bigger than anyone anticipates.